Hey everybody. Sometimes the past is kind of hard to let go of. And this is one of those things that's hard to let go of. Let's go back to 1988. That was a long, long, long time ago. This is 2025, so we're going back 37 years. The filming of this and the photos of this were actually taken last summer in 2024. I'm just finally getting around to putting this all together. I got the word that things are going to be destroyed, covered, and when that happens, gone forever. So, back in 1988, during one of the school vacations, the walls in the hallway of my local school, I was just a little shaver in 88. I wasn't that big. I remember it though. The walls in the hall got painted with murals. Basically, if you walk in from the outside, you walk in the door, your first door is kindergarten, then first grade, second grade, and third grade. And the first grade teacher at the time, she's long since retired. Well, they all have now, but she loved Winnie the Pooh. The second grade teacher was a Peanuts gang fanatic. See where this is going? So during this school vacation, I think it was a summer vacation, so there was time to do it. It wasn't crammed into a 1 week thing. So a few people got together and painted the left side of the hallway from the entry door over the kindergarten room all the way up past the first grade room. That became the 100-Acre Wood, Winnie the Pooh theme. The opposite side of the hallway from the entry door all the way up to the third grade room became the Peanuts gang. They were all in there. You had Spike, you had Snoopy flying his doghouse, the Red Baron. You had Linus, you had Peppermint Patty, you had Charlie Brown, you had Big Ben. Everybody was there doing various things. And it was a fun thing to do for a kid. You know, us kids, we would have made a mess. So, the adults did all the outlining, and then we got paintbrushes and got to fill in the middle. But hey, that was cool. That was fun. Those murals lasted for years and years and years. Of all the kids and people that have gone through that building, they survived. And then several years ago, I believe it was the previous principal decided to destroy the Peanuts gang mural and had it painted over. Why, I don't know. I heard that happened and I just couldn't bring myself to go look at it. But it did happen. Now, the 100-Acre Wood is still there right now in 2025. 37 years later, this thing is still there. It has held up the test of time. How many kids have gone through this hallway through the years, and it has very, very little damage to it. Some flaked off paint here and there, but you don't have gouges, you don't have stuff smashed through it, you don't have any intentional damage to this. So a story behind this school, when I was a little shaver in school there, my grandpa was the janitor. And then when I got bigger, up through the grades, my grandpa retired and my dad became the janitor. So, okay, well, now my cousin is one of the janitors. And she got the word that the 100-Acre Wood was going to be painted over. And she's been fighting that and fighting that and fighting that. And last summer, she got a hold of us and said, you know, the word is this is going to get painted over. I don't know when, but that's what they're saying. And, you know, I'm not big enough to fight this. She goes, I've been fighting it, and I just keep getting squashed and squashed. So she wanted to try and get as many of us together as she could to go look at it, take photos, videos, whatever, before something happens to it. So it was a very impromptu thing. A couple of people are missing, a couple of the creators, because they've died, my grandpa being one. First grade teacher's mom being another, I believe. She was pretty old at that time. I can't imagine her being, you know, like triple digits now. But anyway, so we had a couple missing there. 3 other people were missing, and just because really don't know where they are anymore, how to get a hold of them. Know who they are, yes, absolutely. But you know, over 3.5 plus decades trying to find them, especially on such short notice, is pretty near an impossibility. And yeah, it's kind of sad that this thing's gonna go, but it is what it is.
Oh, it's like it's not even like wood, it's like a pressed wood. I wonder if that's why it hasn't faded.
Yeah.
Whenever they
100-acre wood.
paint it on, it must
Rabbit.
Yeah. He would
Owl.
Yeah. So you have company
That
today.
was good.
I do.
Pooh
Yeah,
Bear.
everything worked out perfectly.
Coming around you.
I knew that when
Are you
the kids
videoing?
were
Yeah.
Hi.
this would be
Hey.
without years.
Working around. Everybody's initials who worked on this thing,
So cute.
except for these. These do not belong. Somebody wrote them in
I want
later.
to be wise like the owl.
Now this is interesting.
The tree trunk is the door to the first grade room.
Okay, yes, I remember when he had his studio.
When did you do that? 'Cause what class was that?
And this
Tigger was
follows
built
the school
to
right through.
hug the first grade teacher.
Yeah.
I know it
You'll
was
see
because
photos
I
of
remember
her and
them
us.
doing that.
Yeah, Rocky Man did this, right?
Eeyore, his
What
cloud,
year was that, Sharon?
Well, that was Kristen.
Piglet and Kanga.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
right behind Jessica.
I remember them doing that.
Yeah.
Over here, we used to have the bridge with the
You
stream,
guys get pictures of that?
and it's already been painted over.
You see,
On this side
they would bring them here.
was the Peanuts Gang.
Because
Right there,
Um,
you can see a shiny spot. That's Snoopy's doghouse. Snoopy was on the top flying it. This is Red Baron.
They don't do vibrating, so they, yeah.
Right next to Snoopy, you can see it right there, was his brother Spike. And we had Spike hanging from a hot air balloon. You can kind of see the strings right there.
I think so.
when I
That's a good idea with that
stopped
angle.
teaching
I
regularly,
wasn't sure what to do.
I was
The
a
hallway's so
substitute in
narrow.
this building.
Kind of hard to remember what it looked like before it got painted over.
And I loved it. This was the
You
model.
can still see some of the remnants.
Because Anderson
That was Mrs. Door.
Oh, and he just retired.
I don't know how you do a panoramic.
I'll show you in a second.
I screwed it up.
Well, it comes out fish bowly.
Well, if I could get the girls together again. Are you up for a get together? We'll try to get Lita too.
It's held up pretty well, don't you think? Now let's get to some photos of creating it. Well, Mom and me are digging through photos, and here's what we've come up with so far. Haven't found the Charlie Brown one yet.
No, we're still looking for other ones.
But there is a 2-year-old with a paintbrush. This is during the painting phase. And you can take a note here. Eeyore's getting his butt painted. I think he's getting his tail put on. As you notice there, he has no tail. And right there, he has a tail. Notice the color difference in the background above him. He also has no mane there, and over here he has a mane. And here, the wall is whatever, tannish. And over here it's blue. Notice where it cuts off on the wall. That is that. So this hadn't been done yet. And right here, the turtle hadn't been put in yet. The fence hadn't been put in yet. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but the bees were also in progress. Right in front of Pooh's face, you can see a few bees there in that left bit of bush. But up by Owl on his left and around him, the upper bees have not been put in yet. And here's the bridge. It is no longer there. That's what used to be. These are old photos. They're 36 years old. Notice, too, with Eeyore. Look at his eyes, look at his nose. And look at him over here. Over here, his nostrils still ain't done yet. His eyes aren't blackened in. So, yep. We actually have some dates on the back of some of these photos. So I was right. 1988. The lady you see down on the floor painting Eeyore, that's Helen Kimmerly. And where she is now, I don't know. And her younger daughter was in the same class as me and one of my cousins in through grade school there. And she was also there. She's in one of these photos. You see her way off in the distance by one of the classroom doors. So she helped paint too. Now, the little blonde girl you see holding a paintbrush, she's my younger cousin. And she's the one that you now see just walking in front of me, in front of the camera like that. You know, she's not 2 years old anymore. You know, we all grow up, right? And she's the one that works at the school, so. Time marches on, right? All in all, we were there about maybe an hour or so, just talking. And of course, you know, my mom, my dad, my cousin's uncle, my aunt, the adults. Well, we're all adults now, but those of us who were kids then don't have as much memory as our parents and uncle, etc., and aunt. So it was fun to talk about it and talk about what we could remember. And, down where the bridge was, which when you came in the entry door, immediately to the left by the kindergarten room, I showed you that. It's just a blank wall now. Then you had the kindergarten door. Mom said, "Oh, Daddy, my grandpa, who used to be the janitor there, he was tied up in this too." She goes, he worked with me for hours on this bridge trying to make sure the perspective was right, all the angles were right for the posts and the railings, to get everything so when you looked at it, everything looked right. Because Grandpa had that type of a eye and that type of a perception. So him and Mom worked on that for a long, long time. I don't remember that. I was like 7 years old. And so it was kind of fun to hear those stories. And then, of course, our first grade teacher, she was there working on it too. Our second grade teacher, I don't know how she's doing. I think she's still alive and going, but I'm not sure. But her mural is gone, unfortunately. One of our other cousins, he had no part of this. He hadn't moved up here at that point in time. He didn't come for another couple of years. But when I found out about this mural getting ready to be destroyed, potentially, I told him, I said, "Yeah, I just heard the Pooh mural is gonna be getting painted over at some point." And he went, "What the?" He wigged and he goes, "That's what makes the school the school." I said, I'm not disagreeing with you, That's been there ever since any of us can remember, because we put it there. And how many kids have gone through that school with those murals, and that's what makes that school the school, and he's absolutely right. So why not have an art class, the upper grades, 7th and 8th grade, why not have them art classes spiff these back up? They could use some TLC. Yeah, they need some paint, need a little bit of work, but they're not in, the 100 Acre Wood one is not in that bad a shape, honestly. Touch it up, make it go another 37 years. And, why not put the Peanuts game back? It won't be the same as what it was, because we can't seem to find photos of it. Maybe somebody has some, but Mom and me, we dug and we dug and we dug. And my aunt, her sister, she looked through photos. People looking for old photos and old albums to see if we could find it, because I wanted to be able to show you. And for some reason, none of us seem to have any. But here's what it is. Well, hopefully the thing stays there. But, it's just pretty cool, because it puts a personality into a school for kids. We'll catch you later.